What's up, everyone? Hold on to your hats because we just got some major breaking news straight out of the Motor City. This is Marcus Johnson, and trust me, things are getting serious because the Lions' locker room is on fire. We've got 4 bombshells dropping at once, all interconnected in a pretty shocking way. Injuries, contracts, potential new faces, and even the future of a quarterback. All of this hits right in the heart of the One Pride fan base, and you're only going to get the full story here. So get ready, because we're talking about some serious, down-to-earth analysis, pure fan emotion, and a final detail that could change the entire season. You ready for this? But before we dive into these red-hot details, let me ask a favor from one fan to another. Our mission is to hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel, and only you can help. Subscribe right now, hit that bell icon, and come join this community that bleeds Lions every single day. It's fast, free, and means the world to us. Look at what's got everyone buzzing this week. Aiden Hutchinson, the heart and soul of our defense, is back with a vengeance while the buzz about his contract extension is heating up behind the scenes. Man, think about it. The last time we saw Hutch healthy, he already had 7 sacks in just 5 games, on his way to another Pro Bowl, until bad luck struck and his leg broke in that play with Aleem McNeil. His absence was brutally obvious in the playoffs when we couldn't even touch Jaden Daniels and Washington just ran all over us. Without Hutchinson, the roar of the D was toothless, plain and simple. Now, the discussion is all about money, and we're not talking about a little bit. The front office already picked up his nearly $20 million option for 2026, but everyone knows the guy deserves a superstar contract. TJ Watt, for example, got over $120 million, with over $100 guaranteed, and that's where the tug-of-war begins. Hutchinson, being smart, is leaving that part to his staff. He said point blank that he doesn't want to get lost in the cold business side of things because it could steal the love for the game. Talk about maturity, my friend. In the meantime, he's training, and he already showed on the field against Houston that his leg is solid. There was even a play where he took a shot in the same spot as his surgery, got up, and just laughed like, bro, this thing is steel now. That confidence is everything, because knowing he won't hold back gives the defensive line a different kind of weight. Even Texans coach DeMeco Ryans gave him props, saying Hutch is still bringing that fire off the edge. And think about the impact, folks. September 7th in Green Bay, Hutchinson leading the charge again. With that Ford Field Thunder traveling with him, the defense's morale goes to another level. This isn't just about numbers, it's about heart. It's the Motor City roar in the flesh. Now, will the front office wait until the last second to lock in this contract? Or will they get ahead of it before the market explodes even more? This is the kind of tension that has everyone biting their nails. I'll tell you one thing, if we stall, another team would pay whatever it takes for this guy, because elite edge rushers don't grow on trees. And the fans know it. Just check the forums, everyone's talking about it. Stay tuned, because what comes next could mess with the pass rush rotation even more. Hold on, I'm about to tell you. Hold on, because this one hurts, man. Josh Pascal, the edge rusher we were counting on to beef up the rotation, might be out longer than expected. And it wasn't just anyone who said it. It was Dan Campbell himself, the guy who never sugarcoats a bitter pill. At first, the forecast was for Pascal to be back in September. But now the word is he might stay on the non-football injury list and miss at least 4 weeks of the season. And let's be real, 4 weeks without edge depth is a heavy price. Pascal, a second-round pick in 2022, was coming off a season where he finally managed to play 14 games, rack up 21 tackles, and get 2 sacks, and it looked like he was finding his rhythm. But then came this clean-out surgery that delayed everything, and fans are already starting to wonder, can his body handle the NFL grind? Campbell tried to soften the blow by saying the decision even helps because it takes the pressure off of a specific return date, but the reality is it complicates the roster math big time. If he's out, it opens up a spot for guys like Nate Lynn, Isaac Ukwu, or Mitchell Agood, who are grinding hard but don't have the same experience. It's that old Motor City toughness situation. Either the young guys step up fast or the defense feels it. And there was even more bad luck in this position group, because Levi Onwuzurike is out with an ACL, and rookie Ahmed Hassanein is also questionable due to a pectoral injury. In other words, the edge room has practically become an infirmary. Now think about the pressure on Hutchinson. He's coming back flying, but he'll need to carry even more snaps while everyone else gets their act together. Fans are already blowing up the forums, asking if it's time for the front office to bring in someone from the outside to fill the gap, because relying only on an improvised rotation could be costly as early as September. The exclusive analysis I'm bringing you here is clear. If the Lions don't make a move now, they could be planning a ticking time bomb for the pass rush. Because if our rivals see this weakness, they'll double-team Hutchinson, and the rest will be left exposed. It's pure drama, and anyone who loves defense knows what I'm talking about. And if you think that's heavy, just wait, because the next piece of news involves a potential new face who could show up out of nowhere and become a key piece in this whole puzzle. You know what went down behind the scenes that put everyone on high alert? Asante Samuel Jr.'s name popped up big on the Lions' radar, and it's not just talk. The guy left the Chargers after neck surgery, his contract was up, and there was a huge question mark hanging over his future. But here's the thing. Talent like his doesn't stay on the street for long. Samuel has that rare versatility, playing both outside and in the slot, and he's already shown in the playoffs that he doesn't get rattled when the pressure is on. That's exactly what our secondary is missing today because everyone knows the group still lacks leadership and depth. With a tougher schedule this year, having someone who can handle business in big games could be the difference maker. Now, let's talk money, because that's always part of the equation. Asante's market value is hovering around $8 to $10 million for a one-year prove-it deal. For Detroit, that fits like a glove, because the salary cap space is there, and the front office seems willing to invest in key players. And there's more. The guy will arrive hungry, wanting to prove that he's healthy and competitive. It's that classic risk-reward balance that could save a season. Just imagine, you put Samuel alongside the young guys in the secondary, and it gives the rookies time to grow without being overwhelmed. It's instant, ready-made leadership, with no need to wait for a long adaptation period. The fan base is already divided on the forums. Some are scared about the neck injury, others are hyped, saying he's the cherry on top of the defensive cake. I, Marcus Johnson, will tell you straight up, if he passes the physical, sign him now. Because if we let him slip away, another team will grab him and we'll be kicking ourselves when we face him down the road. This is the kind of exclusive analysis you won't get just anywhere. And check out the FOMO. If the Lions pull the trigger now, they'll secure a level of depth that could sustain a long playoff run. But if they stall, they risk repeating the same mistake of years past, betting only on youth and paying the price. And pay close attention because I'm telling you now, the next piece of news will directly affect the offense and could even shake up the quarterback room. Man, this was a heavy one, and it caught a lot of people by surprise. Hendon Hooker's future in Detroit is getting more and more cloudy, and there are already major analysts calling for the guy to be traded. Bleacher Report just dropped an article saying the Lions should send Hooker to the Rams in exchange for a 7th-round pick, just to cut their losses and move on. Does it sound like an overreaction? Maybe, but let's take a closer look. Hooker is already 27 years old, and since he arrived, he hasn't been able to show the kind of flash that justified the team's investment. This preseason, with a real chance to show what he's got, he's only completed 55% of his passes, with no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. That's just not enough, especially when you see Kyle Allen's rebound after a rough start, and he's now throwing for 84% completions, 4 TDs, and 0 picks. It's a tough comparison, but it's the reality of the NFL. You don't have infinite time to prove yourself. The Lions' patience has been exemplary so far. They stuck with Hooker after his college injury, gave him space, but at some point you need to see results, and we haven't. The fan base is divided. Some people think it would be too soon to give up on him. But a lot of fans on the forums are already saying we can't afford to waste a roster spot on a QB who doesn't inspire confidence, even as a backup. And here's a detail you'll only hear here. Moving on from him now, even for a little something in return, could free up the front office to go after a veteran who's cut from another team or even bet on a hungry UDFA. It would be pure Detroit toughness, betting on who delivers now and not on who made a promise 3 years ago. Of course, there's also the Rams side, who might take a chance on his draft pedigree, but without expecting a miracle. Now, the emotional impact is strong because fans always dream of finding the next big thing at the hardest position in the game. And when that dream starts to crumble, that heavy frustration sets in. As a diehard fan, I'll say this. If Allen really solidifies himself as the QB2, it makes no sense to hold on to Hooker just because of a draft memory. Football is about right now. It's about Sunday sweat, not a promise from 3 years ago. And mark my words, if this move happens, it will affect the confidence of the entire offense because a shaky QB room means a shaky team. Stay tuned, because after these 4 bombshells, we need to connect the dots and figure out where the Lions really are on this journey. So, fans, after these 4 haymakers, it feels like we're in the eye of the hurricane. On one side, Hutchinson is showing he's the heart of the defense, and on the other, Pascal is complicating the rotation. Then you've got Samuel Jr. popping up as a potential savior and Hooker's future hanging in the balance. There's so much happening at once, and it just proves that this season is going to be lived on the edge. Now I want to know from you, which of these situations hits your fan heart the hardest? Drop a comment below, because this is the real home of the One Pride fan base. One Pride.